I just say my name.
Hey everybody, just doing an audio check. I got a new version of the music. Kevin has upgraded the music ever so slightly. Is it okay on the volume? Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? Let us know in the chat. And other than that, we are ready to go. Tonight we have Deconverted Man, or Dan the Deconverted Man. So Dan, if you want to introduce yourself.
Converted man here. There, I did it. Goodbye, everybody. No.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday this idiot was supposed to talk to this other guy on this show, and he didn't show up. Man, I'd hate to be that guy.
The voice volume.
Anyways, it's not this show, so it doesn't matter.
No. You did turn up a wee bit at the end. You slipped in.
What are you talking about? The other show? Oh, screw that other show. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, fuck that other show. This is going to be far more fun.
Screw whoever that was. Whoever that guest was, he's a crazy lobster anyways. I'm making fun of myself anyway.
The people, I would consider some of us in the chat, like there's Spooky, who does be everywhere. I would consider myself a fair amount of places, and Critical covers all the places that me and Spooky would miss. And only recently I've come across you. You've got plenty of subs, and you've been going for years. And what have you been doing? Where have you been hiding? What's been going on?
I don't know that I've been hiding. Maybe YouTube's been hiding me, for all I know. that would actually explain things.
Bad YouTube. That's YouTube trying to close down all us atheists.
I got initially noticed there used to be an atheist hub that was like, send in a video that you've done, and we'll put it on the channel, and there's a lot of people sub to the channel, and then they just have whoever's video and be like, here's the link to their channel. And that was a great platform for little channels to get a boost from.
So when people would give you a certain video, you would upload it to your channel.
No, it was not mine. I didn't do this. Somebody else was running it, but that's how I initially got boosted out there. And then some bigger atheists helped boost me a bit here and there. I was very fortunate in that, and a couple of my videos got big hits, so I think that helped. But then it's just kind of like, I guess your popularity just kind of wanes. Plus I don't do regular content, so you never know when I'm gonna do something. And I mean, it's not for everyone, because it's kind of like it's that analysis of the logical arguments, but not always. Like, I'll do other stuff, but that's my main thing, is to be like, okay, here's the fallacy, here's how many fallacies they did, let's count them up, let's make fun of them as we do it. And
in saying that, you do have an awful lot of fun. As I mentioned in the description, you have a great demeanor.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind.
You don't seem, up until today, which we're not talking about, you don't seem like someone who takes things very serious. You're like myself.
Yeah. Well, look, I can be serious. It just depends on the subject. It depends on like in a debate. Usually I take those serious. My last debate, I went the other way. I went the complete reductio ad absurdum. So, to see if that would work.
And how'd that work out for you?
I don't know. I haven't got a lot of feedback for it, so it's hard to say. I can't analyze my own argument, because obviously I would be prejudiced against myself. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm right, But oh man, where was that? Was it on? I think it was S.J. Thomason hosted it, so that's probably why nobody saw it.
Yeah, SJ is a special case. You were giving her dogs abuse the other day as well.
And she look, I can't quit her. I've tried to quit responding and reacting to her, but it's just it's like, oh, look, she said the thing that was wrong again. I have to talk about it.
Jim Majors is addicted to picking on SJ as well.
Yeah, I mean, like with G-Man, that's kind of a dead horse that people, for whatever reason, still kick.
Yeah.
But and now she's like boosting G-Man, and I'm like, oh really?
Yeah,
this is getting I don't know why. Like, I guess you're trying to be the best apologist of all time.
Yeah, Yeah,
which
I've
is
seen
not
her
a
hanging with
that's
G-Man.
not a good thing, by the way, to be the best apologist of all time. But okay, why not? You know.
No, G-Man is a special case in his own, and the fact that she has, I would consider it a lower level. Like SJ is, SJ, but having to bring G-Man on and agree with him.
Yeah, like I would, if I was still a Christian, I would not, interact with that person because he would just, it just seemed to be like the opposite of what a Christian is supposed to be.
Yeah. We've got a big
but
fan we've got a big fan of SJ in the chat. Doorknob Head thinks SJ is hot as fuck.
I can see that. What would be the abbreviation? Let's see,
Gilf, MILF.
Let's see, AL. Let's see, AIDLF. There you go.
Well, here, on that topic, man, you used to be a Christian. This is what I wanted to ask you. You're called Deconverted, man. So obviously you deconverted from Christianity. But what made you feel the need to bring half of your face? Because that's the truth, man. When I watch most of your videos, whatever fucking camera angle you have it at, you only show from your nose up.
Yeah, it's just what I do. It's just what I like to do. It annoys somebody, so I thought, I'll keep doing this then.
It's annoying me. It really
It's like, I don't want to. I want to go against the grain a little bit, And I've shown my whole face in a couple of videos somewhere. Whatever. It is what it is, If I do an edited video, then you're more likely to get pictures of me that I have because it's like. You have to fill the background, because it's usually just me talking.
Yeah.
So it's like I have to put something there.
Yeah.
So I just have different pictures of me that I'll put, like a slideshow. Like sometimes I'll put like this space for rent or whatever. Like if you've made it this far, you get 10 internet points or secret messages or something. Yeah. So
I don't do any edited content. I do very, very, very little edited content. I'm just a live streamer that gets bored. The edited content literally gets put in a playlist called bored. Fuck all.
Yeah, it's almost the opposite. Like I feel like the live. Well, it's hit or miss. Like sometimes live seems to do better than edited, and sometimes it's like I don't know what's going to be watched or not watched or whatever. But I try to make stuff that will make people think regardless of what if they're skeptic or non-skeptic or whatever. Like I did a live thing that now it's just another video up there, I guess, but it was the topic I was pontificating on was what's the difference between zero and love. And just to kind of get this idea to be something to make people think like, okay, well, what are these things? What makes these things the things that they are? Differences of, concepts and chemicals and, what if you boil down everything down, then it's all just atoms anyway. So what the bleep is anything anyway? So all that sort of stuff. Hopefully that'll make somebody think, but who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the whole idea. We want people. I have, certain people on here and sometimes the odd weirdo one here, but the whole idea of it is to get people to think.
Right. And for me, it's my primary thing is logic, because that's really what learning logic is what ultimately deconverted me. Because I had all the apologetic arguments. I was really into apologetics. I even had like the apologetic Bible, which is like a $50 thing that somebody had given me. And I had memorized like all the arguments that there were, and like I was like, oh, William Lane Craig's is really cool, and I was like all into this. I even had an interview with a guy that was an apologist, but he wasn't very big. But I was like so excited to have the interview with him, and well, that's gone now because I deleted that channel when it deconverted. But some of the videos are I still have on my hard drive. So every now and then, and I think I need to do one again. I'll put up a video of my past self and I'll like be like, okay, here's where I went wrong.
That's good though. That's good. You know,
Yeah.
self-critique.
Yeah,
And going
yeah,
back over
so
it, realizing your mistakes and things like that. And as you say,
yeah,
it was logic that brought you out. Did you learn logic? Did you go to school for it? Did you, you know, or how did you come across it?
yeah, I picked up a book called Informal Logic: A Pragmatic Approach by Douglas Walton, and literally it did change my life because I've read it many times now, and after reading it, I looked up things online and read more books on logic online, and learned about classical and non-classical logic and truth tables, and just everything you could think about. I'd love to do classes in it, but it'd probably be more the same. But it'd be nice to have a BA in philosophy or something, just to be like, look, I have a thing.
Yeah, it's people like to see the thing.
Yeah, it's like I got a thing. See, I did it. Yeah,
it
I know
doesn't
what I'm
matter
talking about.
if you know
But
what you're talking about. They like to see the thing.
I just kind of consider myself an amateur logician, as far as that goes. It was funny because I said to you that we should talk about logic gates because that's in math, and you're like, you don't know anything about math, and I was like, well, next thing you're going to tell me you're not a pig.
Well, I didn't say I didn't know anything about math. I said my channel doesn't do math. I have a background in it, but it was a while ago.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misquoted. I strawmanned you. See?
No. It's all right. It's all right. I just know. There's a reason behind the name. The short version is I used to be called something else. It was very long. I needed a shorter version. Doorknob Head in the chat named me MathPig. I changed it on a whim because it was half cut from the night before and didn't realize you couldn't change it back for 3 months. And then I got
now you're stuck with it. Well, look, we're going to talk about logic gates anyways. No,
go.
No. Well, no, it's just kidding. But
what brought you on to what felt the need? You had a Christian channel on YouTube.
Yeah, I was Infinite Hope for a number of years on YouTube, and I did interact with atheists that I suspect are no longer around, or maybe I've never encountered again. But back in the day, the biggest, most popular thing was just citing God doesn't heal amputees.com. That was like the big go-to counter.
Right.
And then Shaka God was really big back then. And so
do you mind giving away your age? I'm 36.
What am I now? 40 something. So yeah. But no, I'm 18. Yeah, sure. Yeah. That's a better age. I'll be that age. But at any rate, so that was, I mean, I've been doing this for however many years, since like a year or so after deconverting, I started my YouTube channel for Deconverted Man, and I was like, okay, well, I've got to do this, one, because I've got to undo whatever damage I might have done as Infinite Hope, and two, I just love doing YouTube, so why not? And I've had a lot of great conversations and some not so good ones, and I've met some really great people and not so great people, and it's been a thing I've done. And everyone that there's plenty of apologetics for Christianity and Islam and whatever out there, so you need voices for the more reasoned side. Not to say that all atheists or skeptics or whatever your label is are going to necessarily be reasonable, because we're humans and we're going to be just as susceptible to the same follies as other humans, and that's really important to remember, that we can be pattern seekers. We can grab onto ideologies and believe them without any proof, and then use really bad arguments to justify our position. And I've seen people turn a dime where on one hand they'll be arguing against like creationists, being like, you don't have any science for this and yada yada yada, and then all of a sudden you say, okay, well, what about this thing that you believe in? And they're like, "Oh yeah, you have to prove that I'm wrong about that." And I was like, "Wait, what?" It's like you if you were really interested about this topic, you would look up the information and you would understand it. And I'm like, "Wait a minute, that doesn't that's not how that works."
Yeah, how do you disprove a negative? It's.
And I was like, this one topic, I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure that there's stuff on it. Why not just give it? Oh, you're supposed to go find it. You educate yourself." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's not." You have the burden of no. This is different. I'm like,
that's,
no,
that's one of the rules. It's one of the commandments of Atheist Age, which I think is one of the better ones. Not that any of them are bad; they're all good. But one of them is that if you don't know a subject well enough to talk to me about, don't come to me and say you need to read a book. If you're going to bring it up, show me, tell me.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I mean, look, if I'm being I consider myself a skeptic. Because if I'm being skeptical about the thing, that doesn't mean I have to know anything about it. It's just that you, whoever you are, came in with the thing, and now I'm just being like, oh, what the heck?
No, that was me just shouting at the dog. They didn't hear that because I've learned where the proper mute button is, but you did. Sorry, go on ahead. It's a thing, man. Every time I go on stream, he lies there for 2 hours and he sleeps. I've let him out, I've fed him, I go on stream, and then he decides he wants out. He's an asshole. Doesn't matter. Go on ahead.
But yeah, anyways. So, but yeah, I mean, I look, when I was a Christian, I really just believed it without really questioning a lot. And I think that that's plausibly true for a lot of people of faith. And when your bubble gets popped, as you will, especially on the internet's kind of where religion goes to die, because you get all these people coming being like, yeah, well, prove this and prove, yeah, where's your proof? And they get confused. They think that arguments are proof, and it's like, no, an argument is not proof. And
you really have to up your game on the internet. You have to back your things up and all the rest of it. It's not like I've said this before online. The conversations that we have on here are a lot different than the conversations I would have in real life, and about the same topic. I would say my real life conversations would be a whole lot better because they're not screaming at you for this, that, and the other, and you spend more time looking for evidence than actually discussing the evidence, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the level, obviously, of the debate too, because all conversations, all dialogue falls into different categories, and then it's really important to figure out what category of dialogue you're in, and then once you do that, then you can kind of go, okay, well, because I'm in this is what I'm going to do,
Well, if I was having the conversation in real life and I said to someone, well, you just made 3 fallacies in that statement, they wouldn't have a clue.
It's like, what the bleep are you talking about?
Exactly, yeah, but if you can give them a point to work from or something that disagrees with them or causes them to have a thought about the bloody subject.
Yeah, that's more like street epistemology almost, or something like that, yeah. It was so interesting to see a lot of the SJ and others be like, oh, we've got to do something about street epistemology. I'm like, yeah, because they're asking questions. They're making you question things. How terrible is that?
Yeah, awful. I actually sent, what do you call him, Magna Bosco? I sent him a Twitter message today, so I'm just reached out to everybody today. I think I sent out like 14 DMs today in fucking Twitter. Just DM'd everybody. March is open. Fill the slots. Come on in, people. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but if anyone is on the Modern Day Debate Discord or Doorknob Head, you will know of this person. Canadian Catholic is coming on the 10th. That should be very interesting. We had a discussion last night on Modern Day Debate, him being Canadian and me being from Ireland, and him telling me that Ireland is exceptionally anti-Catholic. And I'm like, it's not. I live here. Ah, but it is. I'm like, it's not. I live here. He knows more about it than me, so it's... Yes, Ireland is anti-Catholic because that one time they wouldn't let the Pope here. Hi Randy, hi Rory, just shout out to the chat, everybody, Brian and Kevin. Listen to the music, Kevin. Kevin H made the music. Is it too loud, too right? Is it at your perfect preferred volume? He is the master that makes the music. Hello to everyone else if I didn't miss. I've seen a few new names there. There was a 7 something. 1776 Massa. Thank you very much for turning up.
Oh yeah, special shout out to the girl Spooky Bed Hair. She's really awesome.
Spooky is my internet granda.
Yeah, she's a girl. She pretends not to be a girl, but she is. So if she ever says she's not a girl, don't believe her.
I have seen pictures and have heard a voice. Although the picture looked like he was being fucking haunted.
Yeah, it's kind of an inside joke that we have now.
Oh, Spooky's good. Spooky is one of the first people in the community, and every opportunity I get to say this, I will. He's one of the nicest people you'll meet out there. Really helped me find my spot in the community.
But what else? What other things can we?
Well, what is your plans for the future, man? What like? Are you going to remain with the short streams? Are you going to do regular? Or are you going to do more lives and shout outs? Are you going to like? You're not on Twitter. I'm not like I'm on Twitter, but I use it to share.
I'm there, kind of, but not a lot. And the Discord thing's kind of interesting, but I don't know about it. I don't know because I got into like some really weird talks with people. It was like, I'm gonna stick with religion. This is beyond my field here, It's like, but I don't really know. I mean, I'll just keep doing what I do and whatever is kind of interesting to me, and doing stuff like this where I get to meet other people and they get to decide if they want to watch my stuff or whatever. That's really cool because it's good to get like hopefully more comments and critical feedback, and it's like, okay, well look, you should have said this, or you could have done that, or well, yeah, I agree, but what about this? Or
and be open to that.
Yeah,
I have no problem with that.
And I'm like, yeah, look, I love that critical feedback, and it's kind of gone down over time, and I'd love to see it go back up, but I don't have control over that. That's up to the humans out and robots out there that want to bother to listen to whatever I'm said on whatever video they happen to listen to, and
you do have
be like, yeah, I'm gonna add in my 2 cents to that.
No, well, I have to say, like, in my opinion, from what I've watched, as I say, I've only recently come across you, possibly in the month, maybe less than a month or so, and I think you're very funny. You're not MathPig funny, but you're definitely up there. Like,
oh, well, thank you. That's very kind of you.
It's an entertaining watch.
Brian Stevens, yeah. Like, I mean, if you want something like hilarious, I guess I would say my most one of the ones I would point to would be the Bob Barber fraud exposed. That if you really want to just crack up, although I think I spent way too much time explaining it at the front, and if I was to do it again, I'd just go straight into the thing.
You do have a blog post as well. I have your blog post in the description now.
Yeah, I haven't blogged anything for a while, but like I'll write about whatever random thing I'm thinking about. So it's just kind of like miscellaneous things that I think about. Like, here you go. I was thinking about, like, I rewrote Captain Marvel. I was like, here's how you could have done it better.
Well, you're always welcome here, man. Any hangouts or anything like that. There's a Discord group and there's a Twitter group. You need to pick one. You need to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I have my little tiny Discord channel that I kind of am in, sort of.
That's how tiny it is, because you refer to it as a channel. They're called servers. Yeah, you don't even.
See, I don't know. Look, I'm old school, so I don't know. But mostly I'm. If people want to talk to me for whatever reason, the thing to do would be just email me. That's a good.
I don't even have your email. I went looking for your email. It's not on your website.
No, it is.
I couldn't find it. That's why all you got tonight was messages on Twitter and Discord.
If you go to the About page on YouTube, you have to click on the view email address thingy and click the little, and then it will tell you.
I went to your About, which is how I came across your blog post.
Yeah. It says logic, sometimes lobsters. There's my blog. There's my Twitter. There's the Discord. There's the lobsters. And then it says for business inquiries, and you have to like click a button. You don't see the button?
There is no. I'm on my mobile. I did it all on my mobile.
See, okay, maybe it only shows up on.
The last thing I see is become a lobsterist.
So it doesn't say that email address thingy. Huh.
No, you need to change that. What? On the topic of the lobsters.
Yep.
Right?
Here we go.
We've been dancing around the lobsters, okay? And I did warn you it was one of the questions I was going to ask. Lobsters. Why lobsters?
I don't know.
That's fine. That is fine. The I don't know answer is far better than Jordan Lee Peterson.
Okay. So at some point in the history of my channel, I was going through one of these stupid arguments, and it was driving me insane. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like it's like premise 1, lobsters exist, and then like you have like I don't know, premise 2, lobsters don't exist. Then there's a god. So then its conclusion is since lobsters exist, then there's no god. So there, blah! And I did that, and then I'm like, hey, the lobster thing, that is lobster's logic. They both have this works. And then like I just was like, I'm gonna make this into a thing, and then it was a thing. And then Peterson came along at some point, and I was like, no, it's my thing. I was here first.
Oh, thank goodness.
And so. Yeah, my most watched videos, the Kathy Newman versus Peterson thingy when that was a big deal, and I'm like, well, towards the end, I'm like, well, there's nothing that could save me from this insanity. I've lost all of my mind. And then he mentions lobsters, and then like that brings me back from the brink of doom or whatever. But nobody understood the ending except for me. Then I got a copyright strike because I used the Hello Darkness. So I have an ad on that video because the Hello Darkness people want like 2 cents every time somebody watches the video or whatever it is. So whatever. I don't care.
That's the one thing I was afraid you were going to say was Jordan Lee Peterson.
Yeah.
Because of that thing as well. But that I was like, huh?
He's an interesting. He was a big topic for a while. Now now he's not so much anymore. But there's I think that every now and then there will be somebody that comes along that everybody has to talk about, and then either they're going to stay in the limelight or they're going to fade away, and they'll have their followers, and so
I thought he was great when I first came across him. For the first 3 months, I thought he was absolutely fantastic, but the more you look and the more you dig into it and the more you listen, you're like, that's a bit sus. Why are you saying that? What's the crack with that? And then you do a wee bit of a hook and a look, and you're like, oh, he believes a wee bit in ancient aliens, and he thinks that's...
well...
Yeah, he's just a bit mad. Did we lose Dan?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Oh. So, while he's away, we'll do some few shout-outs. It is Tuesday. There will be no show on Thursday. My auntie passed away, and we have a funeral on Thursday, and then it's my daughter's birthday on Friday, so I have to do that, and that's all this other stuff. So, no show on Thursday. This Sunday, we've got Dragnot Silvas coming on. On Tuesday, we have Canadian Catholic. Then next Thursday will be as back as normal. Next Sunday, all going well, we should have Digital Hammurabi here. All going well. I'm not sure after that because I can't find my books about somewhere. But that's what we have coming up so far. And Dan better come back in the next couple of seconds.
Yeah, I'm here.
Back.
I'm here. Yeah, I told my brother, I'm live, but phone rang, and I'm like, take it in the other room. I'm like screaming at him. And he finally did, so now I'm back. It's fine.
Yeah, your brother sounds like my dog. I'm streaming. Go away.
Pants. What she does to you, there's certain cognitive... What the bleep? The bleep is Brian Stevens talking about. All right, let's see what we really think about Deconverted Man along the way. Yeah, well...
obviously Brian Stevens would know you. Any secrets from the past, Brian, that we should know about Deconverted Man?
No.
Brian! Brian, any stories about Deconverted, man, that we should talk about?
Yeah, no, look, we're not going to talk about...
Hold on, where's that button? Any stories there, Brian, from the chat that we need to know about Deconverted, man?
Oh, look, listen. There was that one time, but I was young, and it was a different time and a different place. And
well, you tell a story while I go and shoot my dog. So you tell a story,
okay,
and I'll be back in 2 seconds.
All right. I'll tell a story. I don't know what story I'm gonna talk. Okay, so okay, so when I was in the Navy once upon a time, I was on this minesweeper ship, which is like the smallest ship in the Navy, and they look for mines, and so the whole thing has to be demagnetized every now and then, and so they're like, hey, we gotta take off like all the spare metal, so we're like taking off all this stuff from the ship, and then like because we're the cleanup crew, we were like, well, the mops and brooms have metal on them, so they have to go. So we loaded those into the truck too. And the chief's like, all right, good job, everyone. We're done. Just sweep the deck and we'll be secured. And we're like, yeah, we can't. Brooms are gone. They're in the truck. What? Brooms are gone. They have metal on them. You said get rid of all metal. Brooms are gone. We can't sweep anything now. You said, get those brooms. You're not going to use them.
I didn't get the start of that, but I'm laughing at the end because I'm supposed to.
That's all right.
So Brian won't give any secrets away.
Yeah, because Brian's a loyal guy. Back in the day, we've been through it. He's a great guy. I like him. But yeah, I mean, there's really
I've interacted.
Everything about me is on my channel. If there's something somewhere that you could find that you'll probably disagree with, and that's okay. I don't, my whole thing is logic, and if there's going to be a thing that you disagree with me on, then present your logically coherent argument, and I'll respond to that. And, if you don't have one, then, just say, well, here's the things that I disagree with, and I'll be like, well, that's interesting, and that will be the end of that.
What is your most controversial point or video that you would have in your channel?
I can't say it here because it might get you demonetized.
I'm not monetized, man. I have only 500 subs. I'm not monetized at all.
Well, in the future, if you ever want to get monetized, it might mess you up. But
it'd be grand. It'd be grand. Go for it. I get copyright strikes and stuff like that. I put comedies on. It's fine, man. We're small and tiny. We very rarely get watched. Go for it. Your most controversial topic or video on your channel.
The most controversial, I guess. Hold on, I'll show you that so you can decide.
Share screen. It's your video, right? Share screen.
Yeah. Let's see. How do I don't know how to do that. There's that. So there's that. There it is in the little private chat. You can decide. But basically, it's me just saying, there's this word you're not supposed to say. So in the entire video, I'm saying the word, and then I'm saying, oh wait, I just said it like the whole time. Oops.
1 second.
Yeah. Do that.
Yeah, do what you're told. If you want, you can share screen and we can put it up, or you can just say it.
Yeah, that's fine. But I can always put it here. There. Yeah, there it is. There. People can look at it if they want. I guess that would be it. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure somebody will find something.
Don't let the people in the chat go and actually watch it and know what it's about. You're on my show. Tell me. I can't watch it now.
It's just a word you're not supposed to say. That's all.
Oh, that one of them words that you're not supposed to say.
Yeah, the N word. Come on.
Oh,
the N word.
Well, there's lots of words.
No, it's the N word specifically you're not supposed to say.
But I mean is, according to a certain amount of people, there's an awful lot of words. Now, I will agree with you on that.
You're not supposed to say either. I don't know.
I would agree with you on that. Maybe one of two other words that are very offensive and cannot find a use of.
I'll pitch you a show idea. Tell you what, I'll give you my show idea because I'm not going to do it. But I was going to do a show called The Devil's Advocate. And I was going to have it be the most controversial debate that you could think of and be on the side that you wouldn't like the devil is going to be the one that's on the bad side of it. So like episode 1, Holocaust didn't happen, or whatever. Like episode 2, what, I don't know where you go from that, but
I think you can keep that show.
Yeah. So you just like, you have the devil being the one that advocates for the horrible position that nobody wants to advocate for. And then you have the other Puritans like, no, that's wrong, and here's why. But the problem I had with it was I started researching because I thought, well, the episode 1's got to be Holocaust denial. And I looked at Holocaust denial, and it's bull. And I couldn't make I'm like, I can't make an actual argument out of this. It's all bull.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I can't. I'm like, but I'm doing it as the devil. So the whole point is it doesn't matter because. And I'm like, no, but I have to make a good argument. And like I was fighting with myself in my brain, so I gave up. And I'm not doing it. But someone else can. There's the idea now. Someone else can take it.
Should just pretend to be a crazy person. If you want to replace Holocaust denial with maybe flat Earth and have someone pretend
you could be like the Earth is really like concave. I think that's a better one.
If I was going to do any, it would be the Hollow Earth.
Hollow Earth?
Yeah.
And then there's deniers. There was some bombing or something that had taken place in England, I think. It wasn't super big, but it was pretty big. And there's people that deny that happened.
There's people that deny lots of stuff, but they're all mad.
Yeah, the one check for that is you ask yourself, okay, what things am I going to have to believe to think that this is true? And if the things that you have to believe starts accelerating upwards, then it's probably that the thing that you believe in true is not true.
Yeah, I really think it's a problem that they don't teach logic or something along them lines in school. Yeah, especially with the amount of information that's available to kids now. It's not that you need to learn things, it's you need to learn to tell the difference between what's true and what's not.
Right. And like, there's people that denied the Sandy Hook thing and all this sort of stuff. And so, well, to do that, you'd have to actually start to believe that somebody is lying, and you have to believe that, this, and then you have to, it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. What evidence do you have? You don't, remember that from way back when, that the clock kid story, where the kid brought it. Do you remember this at all?
No, might have been America.
Yeah, probably it's just American thing. But this kid had brought this weird contraption to school that he got in trouble for, and he's like, no, it's a clock, but like they reported it as a bomb because it looked weird and it was pretty questionable, and it really wasn't a clock. And he happened to be Muslim, and then it's like all this stuff was like super politically enhanced, and the kid gets to meet Barack Obama, and it's like and then people were like analyzing the components. They're like, no, this is just he took apart stuff and threw it in there. And it's like and so I got into this, and I'm like, oh, well, he did this because his dad's a politician, and his dad told him to do it so that he'd get attention. And then like I was like ready to defend this idea, and I'm like, wait a minute. Somebody was like, yeah, what proof do you have? And I'm like, well, it's like I did the same. I was in this. I was buying into the own conspiracy that I was creating because I was making this plausible story based on the facts, but there were things that I couldn't hope to know that I was saying were true. And as soon as it was pointed out, I was like, oh, nope, never mind. Be skeptical. I don't know. Never mind. The kid did this. We don't know why he did this. It's, it's weird, but whatever. We don't need to make it more than what it is to talk about it. And we also don't need to make up stories to make it interesting, because it's still interesting without knowing all the why. We love to know the motive of people as humans. We like to know, well, why are they doing that?
But it's the same with everything else. It's like Chinese whispers, man. The more it gets spoke about, and then people do add their own wee bit, and especially if there's something like that and someone's pushing a conspiracy theory or anything like that, everything explodes out of it. It's
Yeah, I think like, with the JFK thing, it's like, well, for some people, it's really hard to believe that one person could do that. It's scary because if anyone can just take out the president, then what hope is there for a normal person? So it's maybe in a weird way, it's easier to believe that it was multiple people or conspiracy because, like, well, I'm not important enough that lots of people would have to get together to take me out.
Uh-huh.
So, so now I'm safe from being taken out. So it makes me feel better to believe in the conspiracy than it does to just go, well, as far as we know, it was one guy. Maybe it was more, but I mean, there's really not much to that. And I guess there's reasons, but you don't have evidence. So without that, you have to be skeptical. And I was listening to a History Channel guy. History that deserves to be remembered is his slogan, and he was talking about this story about these war elephants, and yet
about what was it? Elephants?
Yeah, war elephants,
right?
And the only place that the historians were like, wait a minute, why wouldn't they use these elephants in any other war that they were in? Where did the elephants come from? How did they train them? And so they realized the only source of the war elephants were coming from the writings of the winner of the battle with these people. And it's like, well, why would they put in that they fought elephants? Because that's awesome. They beat the war elephants. That's really cool. So we won. And by the way, yeah, not only did we win, but like we were fighting against, elephants. You got to understand, And so that history, you have to be skeptical of history. And this kind of throws the whole, if you ever listen to a historical argument, Jesus rose from the dead sort of arguments, that the very fact that we have to be skeptical of normal history means that when you start adding other things to it, like, I don't know, people coming back from the dead, then yeah, you have to be like more than just normally skeptical, because now you have something that's never been seen, that has no demonstrable demonstration of it even being a thing. At least we've seen elephants be trained to be war elephants, so it's plausible, but we've never seen, somebody come back from the dead, so we don't even know that that's plausible.
Yeah, it comes down to the probability of it. I was having a discussion with someone about the resurrection and this, that, and the other, and they were pointing out the tomb and that, and I was like, the reason you probably can't find the tomb is because it didn't exist, because it was more than likely he was fucked in a mass grave with everybody else. And then he was like, where's your evidence for that? And I was like, I'm not trying to spout evidence. I'm telling you the probability of yours happening versus the probability of mine happening.
Right, and when I did my argument on that, my point during the Q&A that came up was like, well, what he wanted me to defend a particular position. He's like, well, what's your theory on, what explains all these things? And I'm like, anything could explain it. That's the thing, is that the natural explanation is always going to win over the supernatural one. And I'm not saying that any one is the one, because I don't know which one it is. And so it's not my burden to say, well, this is why. The disciples made it up. That's the one I'm going to defend. Nope. I said that one's possible, so is this one, and any of them are possible. I mean, somebody could have made up the whole story full cloth for all we know. And there'd be no way to tell the difference. So,
well, that's the whole idea with history. History, we literally, I've seen someone in the chat there typing earlier, I can't remember who it was probably bloody Brian Stevens. Were you there? With history, we can't. So it all comes down to the plausibility, the natural, what is the most probable from the evidence. Like, we're not walking in completely blind when we say probable.
Yeah.
But we've got 10 bits of evidence, and we're taking maybe 2 steps to come to a conclusion. But we're going off the 10 bits of evidence we have that leads to a more probable outcome, more probable what happened.
Yeah, and so and because we have no example of whatever the supernatural is, or miracle, or however you want to put it, then you're automatically going to be skeptical of that. It's like, look, if my door opens and I'm like, well, that's interesting. First thing I'm probably going to think is somebody did it. I'm going to look, nobody's there. Okay, is the window? No, the window's closed. There's no animals. Okay, it was aliens. Now wait a minute.
Depends who you ask.
How do you know that it was aliens? Well, I can't figure out how else it opened. So, but I don't, it's just, I don't know how it opened. It opened, and that's all I know. And that's the end of that story. And, those weird things can happen where, at some point in your life, you live long enough, something weird's bound to happen, and you're going to have this giant question mark. And it's very tempting to fill that in with some other thing that ultimately is not proven or known to even be a thing in the first place.
Bullshit. Something else that's bullshit.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Or even, as I said, man, it comes down to probabilities. And recently, I did mention earlier, and I mentioned to you the other day, my auntie recently passed away. She passed away yesterday.
I'm really sorry to hear about that.
It's all right, man. We're a tough crowd over here. Like, she's sitting in the deathbed, and we're surrounded by 6 toddlers jumping up and down on a different bed, having fun. It's better for her to go that way than people being sad. No, we're all tough. We're all tough birds. And my cousin recently had a car accident. Now, everybody who walked away from the car accident, perfect. I think there was 1 broken arm out of 4 kids and an adult, and you should see the cure. And we were talking about this with her because, obviously dying and people are talking about God and all this sort of thing. And when the accident happened, about 5 minutes after the accident, she climbed out of the car, got the kids out of the car and stuff. A man walked up to her with a medallion. And my granny on my mother's side would have been, or my dad's side would have been religious, and he'd give her one of these medallions, like a wee angel thing, a guardian angel, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it had flown out the window, and this guy had found it and had walked up and give it back to her. And she is convinced that because he found it, and it's such a small wee thing, it's no bigger than, I don't know, we're talking maybe 2.5 centimeters in diameter, and he gave it back to her. She's convinced that God saved them. And to be desperately honest, I'm having the conversation with this. She's on one side of the bed and I'm on the other, and her mother's in the middle. And I just nodded the head towards her mother and goes, and where's he now? Where was he whenever she found out? She only found out in August that she had cancer. And that's all the time she had. I was like, well, where was he now?
Yeah.
It's,
maybe that's,
I tried to explain to her the probability of him finding that may be in the absolute millions, but shit like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
You drive through a town and hit every single green light, and people think the odds of that happening is absolutely amazing. But if you talk to buddies that actually engineer these things, if you stick to the speed limit, they're designed that you don't have to stop. So if there's nobody on the road and you stick to the speed limit, you'll probably drive through every green light. Now, it's a workaround, but most people think the odds of that happening is amazing. But it happens all the fucking time.
The other thing to think about is that, it's like you could just say, well, everything is... if you want to say that God did that, it's like, well, okay. God's doing everything, including letting this person that we care about die. So, like... the bad things are also that responsibility as well. And whether it's the universe, the nature of the way things are, or a God, it's still it's like with the universe, you can't say, well, darn you, universe, and shake your finger at it.
Yeah.
But, if it's God, you can be like, now I have an agent to say, how dare you do this? And I guess that might be why the people that do believe in God think that atheists are mad at God, because it's like, no, we're not. Yeah, I mean, I could be hypothetically mad at God if I wanted to be, because emotions aren't really logical anyways, but I'm not. There's nothing I don't have a thing that I believe in that I can be mad at. Sometimes I wish I did just be like, shake my finger, but it's just, well, that's how, it's just how reality is. It's like, I shake my finger. How dare you, reality? Doesn't change it, but I could, it's like,
the best thing that could have been done. The best thing that could have been done for it doesn't matter. My auntie was called Norma. The best thing that could have been done for Norma was put her out of her suffering, but it's not legal in this country. You're not allowed to do it. And she went down that quick that the last 2 weeks she's just been in bed. She's conscious, but she knows you're there, but she can't do anything. She's doped up to the eyeballs.
There's no NDEs there, or living will.
No. We've no euthanasia or anything here or anything like that. Now, obviously, she died and they didn't resuscitate.
Yeah, DNR.
There was no point. There was no point. But the point I'm trying to make is that in less than a mile from where they lived, in this little village, there is a house that a local MP last year was found either unconscious or dead or something. It's a heroin dealer. Now the hospital is giving her diamorphine to ease her pain. I was like, the best thing you can do is probably give her too many of them there, or go up to that house up the road and put the woman out of her pain. Like, she didn't want to be like this. That was one thing she did say. She didn't want the end of it to go down that quick. Her brother only seen her at the very end, and she couldn't even speak to her brother. They didn't want to see that. And
that's really unfortunate. Well,
animals in this country have a better, if your animal's sick, you can take your animal and go and put it down and take it out of suffering.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I don't know how you could fight that or be an advocate for that, but that certainly does seem like something worth fighting for. Yeah, because my whole thing, I have my will and all that ready to go. Even though hopefully that's not for a long time, it's just like.
Yeah, it's one of them things you have to do. My woman and my mother are both on my fucking back about getting a will done. It's just you hit 35 or so and around that age, you sort of have to get all your ducks in a row, don't you?
Like, I'm donating all my organs, and then I want to donate the rest of my body to science. I'm not gonna. And for all I know, maybe they'll take my brain and put it in a computer and I'll live again. That'd be cool. So I'd be like, oh, I'm still alive. Well, I thought I was dead. Wait a minute, I'm in a machine now. Cool.
Yeah, just cut your head off. Keep your brain. Freeze your brain.
Well, see, I don't, I don't know. But maybe they'll do it for me. So, I don't, then I don't owe any money. So that's good. Suicide booth on every corner. Oh,
I know, I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for what I just said. But as I said, actually, one of the sisters agreed with me. All right, one of my cousins actually agreed with me, and she said it probably would have been the better thing. I get a load of bollocks for it, but suffering. Yeah. The whole idea is to stop suffering. We don't want people to suffer.
Right, exactly, and so the do no harm, I think, would play into that. In that the least amount of harm is to end the harm that they're experiencing, however that might be possible. And one day hopefully science will get to the point where we don't have to deal with any of that. Who knows? But we're not there today, and I doubt we'll be there within our lifetimes. Maybe we will be, who knows? I don't know. But
you can just chop your head off, man. Chop your head off, freeze your brain and your head, and then just donate the rest of yourself to science. And then you still have the possibility of coming back as a robot while you've also helped out science.
No. I think I'll wait until, whatever.
That would be funny if you actually woke up and were a brain in a jar.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be like, "Where's science?"
That hard sophilism.
Screw you.
Aha! Now I am. Now I don't know. I think it would screw you up, but they'd be like, "Oh man!" I don't know if you'd even be. I don't know. Anyways, it's a whole thing, whole rabbit hole. But there might still be an afterlife, even though there's not a God. I mean, but no,
Have you watched The Good Place on Netflix?
Huh?
Have you watched The Good Place on Netflix?
Yes. I was talking about that. How
absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant, and how they have the heaven, but the heaven's boring until they put in the door that lets you exit it. It's great.
It's absolutely brilliant. Well, we're coming up in the hour, so I'm going to ask the audience if they have any questions for you. And if you're still up for hanging about, Dan.
Ask me anything you want. I don't know that I'll know the answer. In fact, I probably won't, but I'll give you an answer anyways, to the best of my ability. Or you could just say things and I'll respond to it. Meow.
Meow. I usually go oink though.
Alright, oink. Yeah. Okay, so about those logic gates. Alright, so you've got...
Give us them logic bricks, go on.
You've got the NOR gate, right? And then you've got the You've got the OR gate. What's the? I mean, really, you've got OR gates. Why do you need OR?
I've one question. No, I'll give you a question from the chat. There was a question in the chat, right, from a certain person who I don't know if it is or it isn't or whatever, right? But we'll shorten it on because this is about your philosophy. On materialistic determinism, why is it wrong to be that word?
Why is it on materialistic naturalism?
On materialistic determinism, why is it wrong to be that?
On materialistic determinism, why is it wrong? Where the bleep is this? I got to read this for myself. Like, what the bleep?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say it, and nobody else will see it because it's deleted from the chat. So after this...
Oh, it's been deleted from the chat, so I can't...
Oh, right. Well, hold on. I'll tell you. Okay.
Right. I'm like, what are you... What? Oh, you mean the word I said I wouldn't say?
It's in the live chat.
I forgot. I mean, I will say it if you really want me to.
Don't say it. That's the point.
But,
Okay. On materialistic determinism, why is it wrong to be look in the private chat?
Oh. Because there's consequences even if we are determined to do X, Y, and Z. We still have to deal with the consequences of that. So even if it was the case that we had no choice in that, we would still have to remove the human that is doing that from society to make it so that they were not that way. But it might also be the case that once we've all collectively agreed that materialistic determinism is an actual fact, that we will figure out how to find people that might have that sort of brain to turn off that piece of the brain so that they aren't that in the first place, thus eliminating the problem from ever existing. But as far as why it's wrong, there would be no wrong in that sense. There'd be something detrimental to society as a whole that we have to find a clever solution to. There's your answer.
Wonderful. Any other questions from the chat? Hello, John, and hello, Golden Retro. Golden Retro, haven't seen you about in a while, man. John, we're going to have an after party if you want to jump on, if you're free to.
So I can't say the P word, can't say the N word. What?
No, I know. There's a new list actually come out
now
today.
I really want to say all these words on that. I don't know what. Like,
did you see the new list of words? I haven't looked at it yet. They've released a new list of words.
A new list of words we can't say?
On YouTube, yeah, on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Well, see, my thought is, just replace everything with brand names. So Facebook, you mother Facebooker.
Oh, you can say motherfucker.
Yeah, and how dare you, Amazon hole.
I know Skylar had to change every time he mentioned 1 Samuel and what happens in 1 Samuel. He said it that much that he had to change it to burrito.
Okay, at small temporal frame time is not deterministic. The answer to that question, Brian, is that the complications of the mitigations are equal to the subtermifications of the integrations, which equal that there is no time within time. All right. He understood what I meant. Is Christopher of Missing the Mark the dumbest apologist ever or what? No, I don't think he's the dumbest apologist ever. He won't debate people. I think that there's a flaw there. He likes me for some reason. I don't know why, but he won't debate me or talk to me, so that's kind of weird. He responded to stuff I did, but so I don't know these.
Yeah, perfect. Right, what we'll do is we'll close this down. We'll finish it up in the after show. Okay. Because the after show's good crack. We get to bring people in.
That was actually aimed at you, but I answered it anyway. So.
Yeah, well, you're better at this philosophy thing than me. I'm trying to learn. Yeah. I did try to get. I'm agnostic. If you're going to go down that route and all that shit, but I would consider myself agnostic, and I wanted to get an agnostic and atheist. I wanted to get me to get taught philosophy by an atheist and a theist, and then once a month I wanted us to get together and argue about something, but that never came to fruition.
Well, I mean, if you're really into it, I would highly recommend first learning logic, because of all the philosophical things you could do, which are fine, you need a coherent system to ground it. Just like, science could be used for almost anything, and then maybe logic can be used for the stuff that science can't be used for.
Oh well, I know. Like, I remember growing up, as it was with the guy that was on that show that you weren't on. Can't remember his name, and he emulated Spock when he was younger, and I always remember saying on multiple occasions, "Logic dictates," and I've always had that. Like,
yeah, logic is great. So I mean, it's a good because you have the formulas, and just like with math, these formulas can be shown to work, and you go, okay, well, as long as you plug in the right variables, they will always work. And then detecting when you've plugged in the wrong variables, that's what takes the effort to learn all the different fallacies and how they interact. And ultimately, there's this question I haven't resolved, which is, could somebody clever enough make a logical argument that is both valid and sound, and yet the conclusion does not contort with reality? I don't think so, but I don't know. So, by the way, there's a reverse of that. It's called the fallacy. So I'm wondering if the fallacy has a reverse to it, that it would be like the conclusion is true even though it shouldn't be according to reality fallacy or something. But then if there was, I'd probably break logic. So
now you're just rambling. Now you're just rambling. You're
So
just rambling. You're rambling. After
read,
party.
Look, yeah. Look, lobsters exist. We can all agree on that. And study logic and be skeptical. There you go. That's my thing.
Everybody, all his bits and bobs and his links and all that stuff is in the description. Give it a look and hit the button. Go on, hit that button.
Hit that button. Subscribe. Share.
Yeah,
like
stick
this
your
video.
thumb where your thumb has never been before.
Of MathPig, if he has a Patreon, and if he doesn't, then throw money really hard in the air, and whatever God wants, he'll keep, and the rest give to MathPig.
Yeah, I've got everything. Ah, look, there you go. Ah, Critical, you missed one. I've got a tip jar now. Ba-bum.
Yeah. I'll give you a tip.
Right, everybody, thanks very much for turning up.
Thank you.
We'll see you back in about 5-10 minutes. 5-10 minutes, people. Toilet break. Go to the toilet.
Meow, 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 meow. Melting. I'm melting. What world? Lobsters.